Hey there everyone, this is Joe in General, your resident reason and evidence enthusiast. It's your weekly Bitcoin price analysis update. It's Wednesday the 28th of June 2017. A quick correction though to my previous video from about 5 or 6 hours ago that was entitled Populous token up 300% and doesn't exist yet. I was talking about Populous, the recent ICO that occurred, and it is already up 300% on Ether Delta, despite the coin not even being distributed yet. So there's a whole bunch of people lining up to buy it at much higher prices, well, about 300% higher than the original pre-sale. Now, here is my correction. This is where I was incorrect. It states here, this pre-sale allows you to contribute early before the actual opening date for the Populous platform token PPT sale. What I had assumed by that was then there was a pre-sale for a certain number of tokens, and then later on in the month, I thought it was going to be about mid-July, there was going to be a proper ICO crowd sale, so people would be able to get their hands on more PPT. However, I've been reliably informed from other people who did purchase. I did purchase myself. I got in on the pre-sale, but what I didn't do is I didn't go to the community, and I didn't sort of check out. I didn't ask, a whole bunch of more questions. I did do my research on Populous, but I didn't go to the community, such as the Slack community. And I've had a couple of comments from people saying, no, that's it. They're all sold out. Check out the Slack. So I went over to and joined the Slack community for Populous, and lo and behold, yeah, it was all sold out. They actually sold the entire amount during the pre-sale. It was an incredibly popular ICO. So therefore, there are no more PPT to be sold via any ICO. Now, if you need to get your hands, if you want to get your hands on PPT, you have to wait in line and put in a buy order on an exchange. The only exchange right now is Ether Delta, and it's again, it's already about a 300% increase in the asking price, in the bid price, sorry, and what people are willing to buy them for. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to open at that price. It could open lower. All of these buy orders could magically disappear, although it could, more buy orders could come in and it could be a higher price by the time the tokens are distributed. My understanding from looking at the Slack community here is the tokens will be released on around about July the 9th. So that's when you will start to see very likely trading here on Ether Delta and eventually on one of the other bigger exchanges if it does, if they do pick up PPT, which I don't see why they wouldn't. So that is my correction. There are no more PPT on offer through the ICO. It is completely sold out. So straight on to the analysis. It's been an interesting week, to say the least. This is the one-day time frame. Of course, we're using the bitcoinwisdom.com website. It's the Bitstamp exchange, of course. Take that into consideration always, and it's priced in US dollars. So we were hovering above this trend line last week, this trend line right here. And I was stating, and I was quite confident too, that I was thinking here that this here was the dead cat bounce. This was the lower. This was the lowest that we go and we'd punch. Well, after we'd punch back up through here, I didn't think we'd get back down through this trend line here. I didn't say it was guaranteed, but that was kind of my opinion at that time. But no, I was wrong. We did punch back through that trend line, and we've since had a bottom of, well, we've come down between this high here of 29.80 and the low of 21.20. We've got these Fibonacci levels here, and happened to coincide this little low here. It was at about, I think it was 22.90 something, but that smack bang pretty much on that 23.6 Fibonacci level from this high and this low. Let me punch in maybe to the 4 hour and we can get a better view. So we did come all the way down to the 23.6. We have since had a nice little rise back up through the 38.2 and the 50%, kind of hovering around, where are we right now, 25.57. and we've yet to punch through the 61.8, but that's sort of coinciding very much with that trend line here. So where are we going from here? Now, I've already, of course, I've talked about the levels where we could go if it does break down from here. Let me put this maybe on the 1 day. Breaking down from here, if we do, then of course you've got that 2120, you've got the psychological value of 2000, you've got the 1900 level, that 1850 level as well, and then you've got the bottom end of this trend channel, wherever that may hit, if it hits there. Now I had changed my percentage likelihood from hitting the bottom end of this trend channel. I changed it from 50-50 down to like a 50% chance to a 20% chance. I'm going to now put that back up to about a 50% chance, call it 40%, 50% chance of hitting the bottom end here if we break down further. So it doesn't necessarily mean we will. There's been a lot of other people calling you know, for a major imminent correction in the price. Yeah, look, that could certainly happen, but I don't think it's a 100% guarantee just yet. I think it's about a 50% chance that we'll visit the bottom end of this trend channel. And going down further from there, you've got this old high here of 1350. Now, there's certainly been precedent in this chart and many other charts, almost every other chart that exists out there, stocks and whatnot, of coming up to a high, of breaking through an old high, for example, and then having a blow off top and coming back and revisiting that high. That's actually a very large theme in most charts, and it certainly happens. Doesn't happen every single time. For example, there's this here, this is at $16. It came all the way back up to 260. Didn't have a significant visit of that $16 mark, but it did have about a 50% retracement on a logarithmic time scale. So it doesn't happen always, but it is quite a large theme. So yeah, it could certainly come back down to here. I'm going to give that about a 10 to 20% chance though, based on just my opinion. And of course, do your own research. Don't follow what I say. Don't trade on anything that I say. You know, do your own research. Do everything at your own risk. It's not financial advice, people. I don't want to be responsible. But that's where it could go if the price does go lower, and I've just given my percentage likelihood opinion on that. Where do we need to go to move higher from here? Of course, we want to break through the 61.8, and again, that coincides with the trend channel here. You'd want to see this breaking above, sort of knocking on the door of the 76.4 here, about the 27.50 level, and you've got that little high here of 28. So sort of breaking above there. You don't want to see it rise too quickly. You kind of come up to here, maybe bounce back down, sort of start bouncing a couple of times off this trend channel here and just sort of coasting along nicely, and you don't want to see crazy moves up. So that's what you'd prefer to see before then breaking eventually through the 2980. So that's scenario number 2. We could have a, soon a test of here and then soon a test of 2980 and breaking into new all-time highs. And the third scenario, and this is where I got this idea from Derek from Money Charts. I've talked about Derek many times. Go over to Money Charts and subscribe to Derek also. He's fantastic at analysis. But he's talked many times about corrections, and corrections normally happen in one of two ways. Corrections happen in price, or they happen in time. They happen through price, a correction in price, or a correction in time before eventually breaking through to new highs. So we potentially see just a consolidation through time, just up and down, up and down, up and down for a while. How long that is, I don't know. Could that be all of July? Could that be all of August? Who knows? But could we see a correction through price, just up and down, maybe sort of coming back up here, and then maybe a quick little flash mini crash down back to this level here, possibly even lower to 2120, but not really significantly breaking down. But it's consolidation through time, kind of looking like the chart would look like crocodile teeth. if that makes sense to many of you watching right now, kind of like crocodile teeth. So the three scenarios. Yes, we could break down, gave you my percentage likelihood, could certainly come back up quickly from here. I think the most likely scenario at this stage, though, is a consolidation through time for a period of time. I don't know how long that would be, of course. But during that consolidation, there has to be a decision made one way or the other, where it's if it's, you know, does it eventually break down further or break higher? Usually, because you either have a correction through price, which then eventually makes its way back up to break new highs, or the correction through time. Either way, it's a correction, and therefore you would more likely see higher prices eventually. So if we do have that correction through time, that's very likely a signal then that the correction is over, and then we would be seeing higher prices eventually. I don't know which one's going to be, you know, the actual scenario, although that's my thought at this stage, the correction through time. I'm certainly happy to be wrong, though, and certainly happy to see, you know, this breakthrough much more quickly to new highs. And of course, I've talked about the highs that I think it could get to next. That's the 4,083 level. It's in one of my videos from a few weeks ago, entitled 4083 I do see. Check out that video. But that's the next significant level. I think it's around about between 4,000 and 4,100. That's my thought on that. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks very much for watching. Of course, hit the subscribe button. And I will be talking about more ICOs coming up. I did mention that I did get into, it was Funfair token. I bought some EOS token. I bought some Skin coin. I bought some Fantasy Football coin tokens. And some of them have been distributed, but they're not listing yet on exchanges, and some still have yet to be distributed. So I will keep you updated, and I'm going to be buying some more ICOs eventually. There's one called Kin, which I want to get into eventually. And of course, I do my weekly Bitcoin price analysis, and I do analyses of other cryptocurrencies, of course, that I'm regularly trading. And there's much other stuff that I do on my channel as well. If you don't check out any other video on my channel, except this one here, I would be happy. If you go out and check out this one here, Global Economic Collapse by 2020. A lot of you guys who subscribe to me because of the crypto stuff, you're probably already really well aware. And that's probably one of the reasons why you're in Bitcoin, is because you have a pretty good feeling there's going to be a large economic downturn coming soon. But this is a good one, I think, to share with other people who aren't woke, who aren't awake to what's going on in the world, particularly economically speaking. And I have a whole economic collapse playlist. So if you share that playlist, it'll play my video first, then it'll play the Mike Maloney Hidden Secrets of Money, and then I think it plays some other stuff after that. But check out that whole playlist if you like. All right, enough stuffing around. I will end this video now. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Stay safe, stay informed. Speak soon.